Tottenham Hotspur finally opened their new stadium for a Premier League match today, 690 days after moving out of White Hart Lane. Ticket holders for the clash against Crystal Palace flocked to the club's new £850 million, 62,062-seater home and watched their stars in action, albeit 8 months later than initially expected. Tottenham fans will finally see their stars in action at the new stadium tonight when they face Crystal Palace Spurs held 2 test events, an under-18s clash against Southampton and a Legends game against Inter Milan, which passed with flying colours. It means Harry Kane, Dele Alli can put on a show as they begin a new era in the club's history. But first, fans are being treated to a marching band belting out famous Spurs chants of years gone by, and an official opening ceremony will take place before the game gets underway at 7:45 p.m. Supporters headed to their seats as early as 5 p.m., almost 3 hours prior to kick-off, to soak in the building atmosphere and drink up one of those self-pouring pints. The players and coaches arrived just before 6 p.m. to get fully prepared for what is, lest we forget, a must-win game for Mauricio Pochettino's side, who have picked up 1 point from a possible 15. But as fans made their way into the ground and took their seats, the heavens opened and down came the hailstones. Spurs will be desperate that Palace do not rain on their parade, though. Daniel Levy and 62,000 others took their seats in plenty of time and were then treated to the spine-tingling, emotional opening ceremony. A video showing everything from the farewell to White Hart Lane to the new stadium's importance in the community, from the construction of the stadium to the promise of being one of Europe's top clubs, started it off. It's a monumental stadium, absolutely incredible. I'd love to get my boots on, I've got them with me just in case. Robbie Keane, welcome home. The video finished before a stunning musical performance by a choir from Gladesmore Community School. The marching band then returned to welcome the players out of the tunnel to the chorus of When the Spurs Go Marching In, and then a rendition of Glory, Glory Tottenham Hotspur, was capped off by a rapid firework display. Former striker Robbie Keane, who scored in the Legends match on Saturday, could not hide his excitement. Speaking to Sky Sports News, he said, "To be honest, I think this is the most impressive stadium I've ever seen. The attention to detail, the way everything is structured, it's a fantastic stadium for any player walking out here tonight. It is absolutely magnificent. When you walk out of the tunnel and see the grass in front of you, it's very similar to White Hart Lane, and then you see this huge stadium. It has the spirit of White Hart Lane. The atmosphere was electric, and I'm sure tonight it will be the same. The massive wall, 17,000 people, and the pitch are magnificent. After all this waiting around, I'm sure these players are desperate just to get out and play. I've played in massive stadiums where they have the track and the crowd is too far away." Ex-striker Robbie Keane is at the stadium tonight and brought his boots just in case of a late call-up. Spurs fans who flocked into the ground early were fortunate to be undercover as the hailstones came falling down. Tottenham played their last game at White Hart Lane 690 days ago but return home tonight. But if you ask any player who played at White Hart Lane, Everton, Liverpool, they'll say the fans are right on top of you. This is actually closer than at White Hart Lane, so you get that real connection. It's a monumental stadium, absolutely incredible. I'd love to get my boots on, I've got them with me just in case. The amount of work that they out into this, Daniel Levy needs to take credit. He has been massive behind the scenes. He wants to leave a legacy. The training ground is out of this world and the stadium is the same. Former Spurs player and manager Ozzy Ardiles was also in awe of the new ground, but did have a word of warning for Poch and his players. Ardiles said, "It is absolutely fantastic and it has a very good sound as well. You can hear everything. It's an extraordinary transformation. From when he arrived at White Hart Lane in 1978, it was a small stadium, then they renovated White Hart Lane, and now we needed a new stadium to compete with the very best. It will inspire us definitely, but the only problem is it will inspire the other teams as well. as well as past players. Spurs supporting celebrities were also in attendance at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the grand unveiling. Comedian Michael McIntyre took his sons for the momentous occasion. Spurs supporter Bernie also told Sky Sports News, "It's absolutely stunning. 50 years ago was my first time, but this is amazing. I've enjoyed Wembley, but this is something special." Fellow fan Matt added, "It's amazing. It's on a different level. This is Champions League standard and we need to get into that now." Comedian Michael McIntyre was in the crowd to watch the opening ceremony and his beloved Spurs